I'm standing here with 2007 National All-Around Champion Dave Durante. Dave, tell us a little bit about your experience here at the Media Summit and what's going on and what you guys have been doing here.
It's been a pretty crazy day so far. It's been great though. We've been running from one media interview to the next, doing photo shoots, and it's definitely been a packed day filled with a lot of different stuff. But it's been a great time.
Does this bring the whole Olympic experience to the forefront, and make it seem real, like it's upon us and now it's time for the Olympics? And does this make it all the more real for you?
Yeah, it definitely feels like, especially hanging out with a lot of the athletes from different sports who have already made the teams, and just seeing their reactions and them getting ready for the games. It definitely feels like it's right here. It's been a couple months away now, so it definitely feels like it's coming a lot closer.
Now, Team USA's kind of went through a rebuilding phase over a couple of years, and at last World Championships, the team was just out of medal range, placing fourth. How does that poise you guys going into Beijing this year?
I think it was a great position for us. What we did at '06 Worlds, a lot of people had questions leading up to '07 where we were going to be at. A lot of people were wondering whether or not we were actually going to even make the Olympics. And I think we had a lot of faith in ourselves and a lot of faith in the talent, and so we really relied on that. We bonded as a team going into '07, and the fourth place finish was a little bit outside of the medals, unfortunately, but it was a great step for us leading up to Beijing. And with the Homs coming back and the talent that we have, the depth that the U.S. team has right now, we're looking great leading up to Beijing.
What do you think it's going to take for Team USA to actually get on the podium, win a bronze or even more in Beijing?
I think it's going to come down to consistency. I think we have the talent, we have everything in place to make it work, and it's going to come down to that 3-up, 3-count format in team finals. Anything can happen. So if we hit those 18 routines, we'll be up there.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your life at the Olympic Training Center, and we've heard you started an initiative there. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I started an OTC Green program, which is basically a group of 7 athletes that have come together to try to make the Olympic Training Center a little bit more green, a little bit more environmentally friendly. So we basically distributed some information to the athletes, resident athletes, and the staff to let people know what our intentions are with the program, to let people know what they can do on an individual basis to kind of change their lifestyle a little bit, small changes that can end up being big differences for the environment. We've also contacted a bunch of the different departments on Complex and kind of tried to figure out what each department in general can do to try to go more environmentally friendly. We've presented to the USOC staff and to the director of the OTC, and they're completely on board. We're really fortunate that the USOC have decided that next year going green is one of their top 10 initiatives. So everything's looking good with our program right now, and hopefully we'll be able to get the OTC to more a green center pretty soon.
Awesome. What's the long-term goal of that initiative?
Well, the long-term goal, I would love to see the OTC become self-sustainable and have a carbon footprint of 0. Obviously that's a pretty high goal to set for yourself, but we're training for the Olympics, trying to go after gold medals here. Why not do it in another phase of our life? So that's what I'm hoping to see.
What kind of music do you listen to when you're competing or training?
When I'm not competing, I love like Jack Johnson. He's like by far my favorite. I love just his lifestyle and his music and everything. He's living on the beach, surfing. It's a great way to live your life. But in competition, I listen to the same thing since I listened to when I was 10 years old, and that's the Rocky soundtrack. That's the only thing I ever listen to in competition, so if you see me with my headphones on during a meet, that's what's going on.
Do you have any superstitions when you compete?
Not really. I try to stay away from that stuff. I've seen some guys on my team that have had some pretty crazy superstitions, and if something doesn't go right for them, kind of ruins their whole meet and their whole day. So I try to stay away from that. But I like to wear a rubber band. I don't have it on right now, but during competition, that kind of has some motivational stuff that some of the guys that I look up to in the sport have told me over the years, and I keep that close to my heart.
And do you have a role model that you look up to, athlete, role model, gymnastics or otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, in gymnastics, I kind of model my gymnastics after 3 guys, Jair Lynch, John Rodsberger, and Blaine Wilson. I try to take a little bit from each of their gymnastics. John's just tenacity in the way that he trained and his work ethic, and Blaine's confidence in the way that he go into competition and just knew that he was going to win. And Jair, his style and outside of gymnastics, all the success he's had. So I try to take the little things from each of those guys, and I try to implement it into my own gymnastics. But outside of gymnastics, I always looked up to Michael Jordan growing up. Hi, I'm Dave Durante, and you're watching Gymnast.com.